You have been doing everything under the sun and nothing works. And you keep asking yourself, how do I make them crawl back to me? And I'm gonna tell you how. Because self-love, self-concept, when it comes to relationships, two different things. Because the Lulu can be your Sol Lulu. You know, I don't care what they said. I don't care what they did. If that's when you came back, you would have that cockiness that I had 2 days before I manifested him. You keep living in the past. When they come back, they will apologize. Hey there, magical beings. Welcome to another episode of Magic Manifesting with Mia. It's I, your favorite spiritual manifestation coach, Mia. Spiritual meaning I use spirituality and witchcraft to help me manifest my dreams, and I can help you do that too. Using my unique approach towards spirituality and manifestation, I have manifested my ex back in 2 days, which you can find the free guide of it in the description below. Travel, money, celebrities, changes to my physical appearance, weight loss, and so much more. And I am talking about every single one of them in a video form, like this one. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of those gems. But I do also offer one-on-one coaching, personalized affirmations, personalized meditations, personalized subliminals, personalized vision boards, and even personalized spell work and tarot readings. Everything will be linked down below. Well, let's get to it. Because I want you to be honest, because I think most of us have started our manifestation journey because you either want to manifest your ex back or your crush. Be for real. That's how I started mine. There's no judgment here. But you have been doing everything under the sun and nothing works. And you keep asking yourself, how do I make them crawl back to me? And I'm gonna tell you how. Okay? First things first, I want us to realize that self-concept and self-love are two different things. Okay? There is a self-concept for everything. Love, money, yourself. There's a self-concept of yourself. There's a self-concept of money. There is a self-concept of relationships. There is a self-concept of family. There is a self-concept of food. There is a... So, self-concept, self-love, two different things. Self-concept isn't about bubble baths and face masks you do every single week. For example, someone could have the greatest self-care routine. 15-step skincare, and then another 5-step hair, just hair shower, not after, like the whole mask. They could have the greatest one, and they could have 0 body fat because they're just taking care of themselves so much. Okay? Yet, they, at the same time, with having the greatest self-care, right? They could always be broke and always get into shitty relationships. We tend to confuse that what it is that we think of ourselves and what self-concept is. So let's take my example. I was saying that I manifested my ex back in 2 days. But before that, I was manifesting him for 4 to 5 months. I was heartbroken. I kept saying to myself, oh my god, he's such a fuckboy and a man whore because he moved on so quick. And I was thinking because of that I was easily replaceable. Growing up, I didn't have good examples of what a loving relationship should look like. And in turn, my own relationship showed that. I thought my own worth was defined by how much I did and I offered in a relationship. Again, thought that I was easily replaceable. What did my ex do? He found a third party that I was worried about. I thought, after we broke up, that I would never be enough. I loved him so much and he couldn't even stay. And he ended up doing for the third party what I wished he would do for me. Now, that is the 4 to 5 months that I was trying to manifest him. Fast forward to 2 days before I manifested him. For some reason, I decided to wake up that day and be cocky. You know, be cocky, be petty. And I thought I woke up with a feeling that, fuck you, I am the queen of manifestation. And that I would make him crawl back. He did. And after he called me, I thought, like right after the phone call, right? I was like, shit, I manifested him. So now I have to keep doing more self-concept and self-worth, because someone told me that if I didn't do all the self-concept work, that I would lose him again. So after I manifested him, I was like, oh my god, I have to do the self-concept so I don't fucking lose him again. Do you see where this is going wrong? Because I was scared that based on their saying, on other manifestation coaches saying, that if I didn't love myself, if I wasn't doing self-concept, self-worth affirmations, that he wouldn't love me again. I was confusing my self-concept when it came to relationships to the self-concept I had of myself. So the first step is to make that distinction. You might do everything for yourself. You might fucking love yourself. Okay? And respect yourself and everything. But when it comes to relationships, it all goes to shit. Why? I want you to ask yourself, why? What are the assumptions you have of relationships? And yes, that comes from previous experiences as well. My assumptions in relationships were that, you know the Keanu Reeves saying, if you're a lover, you have to be a fighter.
Yeah, so, you know.
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I don't know, no, because if you're a lover, you gotta be a fighter.
How so?
Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have?
I had to fight in relationships. I had to fight to keep a relationship. That, you know, that if you were good in relationships, if you were giving them what they wanted, they would stay. But also deep down, I had the assumption that everyone would leave me, even though it wasn't a conscious. It was a subconscious. And yes, that came from my upbringing and my daddy issues. Yeah. But those were the assumptions I had. That was the self-concept I had when it came to relationships. Relationships with me. That's why it's called self-concept. Because, yes, I could be doing my skincare. I could be doing my bubble bath. I could be watching my diet. I could be going to the gym. I could wake up at 5 p.m. and just read 200 pages of a book every day. Didn't matter if I was doing that. My relationships were still shitty. Because self-love, self-concept, when it comes to relationships, two different things. So make the distinction that doesn't matter what you do about yourself, but it is the assumptions that you have of relationships. Self-love is different than self-concept in relationships. Okay? Does that make sense? Good. Okay, step 2. Change that! Obviously, if you realize that your self-concept in relationships is shitty, you think that every man is a cheater, everyone's gonna cheat on you, everyone is gonna leave you, they're abusive, change that. Whether it's affirmations, visualizing, vision boards, whatever is your preferred method, change that. And if that seems hard to make it or to like come up with it, that's why I'm doing personalized affirmations and vision boards and subliminals and visualizations. If it's too hard for you to come up with stuff, I can do it for you. And yeah, in the beginning of you doing that, it might seem fake. It will seem fake. But I will tell you an example of what my ex-best friend told me that she saw in a coffee shop. One day, she was sitting in a coffee shop and she could overhear a conversation two other friends had. And one of their friends had recently broken up, and she was like, no, we're gonna get back together. And her friend was like, look, I don't see it happening. You know, she was trying to be realistic and just, you know, talk her out of getting back with her ex. But the person was like, no, we are gonna get back together. I don't know what happened, obviously, because there are strangers in a coffee shop, but she was so adamant. She was so Lulu. And I bet this bitch manifested her ex back. Because the Lulu can be your Sol Lulu. I've said that before. You know, you don't have to be like that person in a coffee shop. You don't have to keep going to everyone saying like, we're together, we're gonna get back together. You don't have to say that to everyone. Saying it to yourself and making yourself believe it is enough. Do it enough to the point where you start believing it and you get giddy about it. Also, if you didn't believe me, I was just hungry. Chocolate. Yes, and that's how I lost 50 pounds. I'm hungry. I want chocolate. I'm sorry. Step 3. Okay. Leave the past behind. Past doesn't exist. Future doesn't exist. We only have the now. If it was your first day on Earth, how would you spend it? Would you go on a new relationship fearing like, what if they cheat on me? What if they hurt me? What if they find someone else? You wouldn't, because you wouldn't have had that experience. If it was your first day on Earth, you wouldn't have experienced it. So leave the past behind. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. You know, with exes, at least. You know, if it's your crush, fine, like it's less so, but it's also the past experiences. So if, let's say with a crush, you have been turned down, that is still an experience. You still need to like put that behind you. But especially with exes, we have a history, you know, of loving-dovey and actually them hurting us or whatever. That must be yeeted off. You know, I don't care what they said. I don't care what they did. Fuck! What my ex did to me was fucked up. Was fucked up. I've talked about this before, but it was when I decided to let go of the past that he came back in 2 days. And that's when he came back. Not when I was overanalyzing the situation and how much he hurt me and how he had a third party and how he was done with a third party, everything that wanted him to do with me. And how I was pregnant with a child. He didn't want a child, but he was the stepdad to 2 of her children. It wasn't when I did that I manifested him back. I was like, fuck the past. That I manifested him back. You want them back, so act like nothing happened. That you don't have a history. That they didn't hurt you. Nothing. They're a new person that you haven't met before. That's it. Step 4. Act like that bitch. How would you feel if you knew that you could make them crawl back every time they could try and run away? But no. I make them crawl back every time because you know? How would you feel? You would be walking, talking, and feeling like that bitch. Your confidence would be through the roof. Because by analyzing the bad, how they hurt you, you stay in the past. But if the delusion of them calling back every time, of them not being able to stay away from you, if that delusion was your reality, you wouldn't give a fuck about what they did. You're like, I don't care. You will be back. They always come back. You would have that cockiness that I had 2 days before I manifested him. Step 5. And I have to start this with this. I understand why you want to do it. Because I wanted to do it. But, stop saying that they have to apologize. Stop saying it. Because when you focus on the fact that they have to apologize to me, why do you say that? Because you know that they hurt you. So when we hurt someone, we need to apologize. We need to say sorry. But that completely invalidates everything that we said. Step 3 of forgetting the past. If they didn't hurt you, they had no reason to apologize. You keep saying, they have to apologize to me, they have to apologize to me. You keep living in the past. When they come back, they will apologize. One way or the other, they will. But by you saying they have to, you keep staying in the state of, they hurt me. They're a piece of shit that hurt me, and you keep living in that hurt. You keep living in that pain. You're not living in the bad bitch. You're not. When I manifested him, when I was cocky, I wasn't focusing on the apology. I was focusing on, I am that bitch, and this motherfucker is gonna come back. I wouldn't want to come back. I manifested through cockiness. I made him crawl back by being that bitch. Be that bitch.